In the expansive reaches of the Andromeda Galaxy, on the verdant planet Virion, there stood a majestic palace made of bioluminescent stone that shimmered under the twin suns. This was the royal home of Princess Lysara, who was celebrated across the galaxy for her unique gift, the power to manipulate the elements. Her abilities could coax plants from seeds in seconds and summon water from the air, phenomena that both amazed and intimidated her people. Lysara was the only child of Queen Morala, a wise but weary ruler whose reign had seen the rise of numerous factions within the court, each vying for power. As Lysara's powers grew, so too did the fears that she might become a tool for those seeking control rather than a leader. When Lysara turned 16, a secret council among the rival factions decided that her growing abilities posed too great a threat to the fragile balance of power. Late one evening, under the guise of a meteor shower celebration, the palace was thrown into chaos by a sudden coup. Trusted guards hurried Lysara away from the festivities, whispering of danger and betrayal. With little time to understand her fate, Lysara was taken to the royal hangar, where an escape pod awaited her. "This is to keep you safe, Highness," her chief protector Saran explained hurriedly, his face shadowed by regret. "We must send you away, if only to ensure your survival and the future of Virion." Tears streaked down Lysara's cheeks as she was strapped into the pod, her heart pounding with fear and confusion. Her thoughts were a whirlwind of unanswered questions and the faces of her friends and family she might never see again. As the pod's door sealed, Saran added, "Trust in your strength, Princess. Remember who you are, no matter where you find yourself." With a heavy heart, he initiated the launch sequence. The pod shot through the atmosphere, leaving behind the only home Lysara had ever known. As the planet grew smaller behind her, Lysara's fears slowly gave way to a numbing resignation. Hours turned into days as the pod drifted further into space, carried by currents that Saran had hoped would lead her to sanctuary. But fate had other plans. The pod's trajectory had been sabotaged, rerouting it from its intended safe haven to somewhere far more remote and desolate. After what felt like an eternity suspended between the stars, the navigation system signaled an impending landing. The destination was unknown to Lysara, indicated only by coordinates that led to an uncharted world, Earth. With a violent crash, the pod tore through Earth's atmosphere, landing in the remote icy expanses of Siberia. The impact was severe, systems failed, lights flickered out, and silence enveloped the pod. Lysara lay unconscious, her fate now left to the whims of an alien planet she knew nothing about. As the sun rose over the snowy landscape, its rays fell on the metal husk of the pod, a strange foreign object in the quiet wilderness. It would not be long before the planet's own inhabitants would discover it. However, it was not humans who would find her first, but a curious and intrepid Siberian husky named Max, whose loyalty and bravery would soon forge a bond across worlds. In the dense forest of Siberia, the cold winds whispered through the trees, creating a symphony of nature among the towering pines. Max, a spirited Siberian husky with striking blue eyes, roamed freely, having recently escaped the confines of his home. Max was on a quest for adventure, his senses attuned to the mysteries of the wilderness. On this day, however, something unusual caught his attention, a strange metallic scent mingling with the crisp winter air. Intrigued, Max trotted through the snow, his paws crunching softly as he followed the scent to its source. As he approached, he spotted a large, smoldering object, half buried in the snow, its surface glinting under the weak sunlight. It was unlike anything he had ever seen. Cautiously, Max circled the object, sniffing and pawing at it. Suddenly, a faint sound emanated from within, capturing his attention. With a few determined nudges, he managed to open a hatch, revealing the interior. There, lying motionless, was Lysara, her luminous skin and silvery hair shimmering even in the dim light. Max approached her with curiosity, his instincts sensing that this being needed help. He nudged her gently, and after a few tense moments, Lysara stirred, her eyes fluttering open to meet Max's. Fear and confusion clouded her gaze, but Max's calm demeanor reassured her. Recognizing his intent to help, she slowly sat up, wincing from the crash's impact. The connection between them was immediate and profound, transcending the barriers of species and language. Max's tail wagged encouragingly, and he nudged her again, motioning for her to follow him. With little choice and a newfound hope sparked by her unexpected companion, Lysara gathered her strength and followed Max through the snow-laden forest. The journey was challenging. Lysara, weakened and unfamiliar with the terrain, stumbled often, but Max remained by her side, guiding her with unwavering loyalty. Eventually, they reached an old abandoned cabin nestled among the trees, a refuge Max had discovered during his wanderings. Inside, the cabin was dusty and bare, but it provided much-needed shelter from the biting cold. Max, ever resourceful, led Lysara to a corner where he had already gathered some remnants of a forgotten life. A tattered blanket, some dry wood, and even a few old tins of food. Together they managed to start a fire, its warmth a welcome relief. As the flames crackled, Lysara took in her surroundings, her mind racing with thoughts of her home and the uncertainty of her future. Yet, in this moment, she felt an unexpected sense of solace. Max lay beside her, his presence a comforting reminder that she was not alone in this strange new world. Days turned into weeks, and a routine emerged. Lysara, with Max's help, began to adapt to her new environment. She used her elemental abilities to conjure small bursts of warmth and coax plants to grow, though the cold climate posed a challenge. Max, ever the hunter, brought her small game and showed her the edible plants of the forest. Together, they formed an unbreakable bond, learning from one another. Max taught Lysara the ways of the forest, while she marveled at his intelligence and resilience. They communicated through gestures and an almost telepathic understanding, each day deepening their connection. One afternoon, while exploring a nearby clearing, they encountered a group of researchers from a distant city conducting a study of the region's flora and fauna. Startled, Lysara prepared to defend herself, her hands crackling with elemental energy. But Max, sensing her tension, approached the researchers with a friendly demeanor, wagging his tail and diffusing the situation. Intrigued by the unusual pair, the researchers cautiously approached, their initial surprise giving way to curiosity. Through a mix of gestures and broken communication, Lysara explained her story, revealing her origins and the circumstances that brought her to Earth. The researchers, captivated by her tale and abilities, offered their assistance. Though hesitant at first, Lysara sensed their sincerity. With Max by her side, she felt a growing sense of hope. These new allies might hold the key to her return home, and together they could bridge the gap between two worlds. As she looked at Max, she knew that their journey was only beginning, and whatever lay ahead, they would face it together. As Lysara settled into her new life on Earth, her connection with Max deepened. Each day brought new challenges and discoveries. Max, with his boundless energy and keen instincts, was the perfect guide in this unfamiliar world, leading her through the dense Siberian forest and teaching her the ways of survival. Lysara, in turn, shared her elemental abilities with Max. She demonstrated how she could coax water from the air to quench their thirst and summon small bursts of fire for warmth. Although her powers were weaker on Earth, the bond between her and the planet's elements grew stronger each day. One crisp morning, Max led Lysara to a clearing filled with vibrant wildflowers, a stark contrast to the snow-covered landscape. It was here that Lysara decided to practice her abilities further, focusing her energy on the flowers. To her delight, the blooms responded, unfurling in radiant colors that danced in the sunlight. Max barked in excitement, his tail wagging furiously as if cheering her on. Their newfound routine was interrupted one day when they heard voices echoing through the forest. Max's ears perked up, and he led Lysara cautiously toward the sound. They soon discovered a group of researchers studying the flora and fauna of the area. The humans were fascinated by the unique ecosystem and were documenting the changes in the environment. At first, Lysara hesitated, her fear of being discovered holding her back. But Max, ever the diplomat, approached the researchers with his tail wagging, diffusing any tension. His friendly demeanor reassured Lysara, and she stepped forward, revealing herself to the astonished group. Using a mix of gestures and broken English, Lysara shared her story, the betrayal on her home planet, her crash landing, and her bond with Max. The researchers, captivated by her tale and abilities, listened intently. They saw not just an alien, but a being with incredible gifts and a deep connection to the natural world. Over time, Lysara and the researchers forged a bond. They were eager to learn from her, documenting her powers and her knowledge of Virion. In return, they offered her insights into Earth's ecosystems, teaching her about the delicate balance of nature on the planet. With their help, Lysara honed her abilities further. She learned to manipulate Earth's elements more effectively, creating small gusts of wind and gentle rains to nurture the forest around her. Max, always by her side, seemed to understand her powers intuitively, often guiding her to places where her abilities could be most beneficial. One day, while exploring with the researchers, Lysara stumbled upon an ancient stone circle hidden deep within the forest. Intrigued, she approached it, feeling a strange energy emanating from the stones. With Max by her side, she concentrated, channeling her elemental powers. To her amazement, the stones responded, glowing faintly as they resonated with her energy. The researchers theorized that the stones could be a gateway or a conduit, potentially connecting Earth to other worlds. Excited by this discovery, they offered to help Lysara send a signal back to Virion, using the stones as an amplifier. Lysara focused her energy, sending a message into the cosmos, a beacon of hope that she might find her way home. As days turned into weeks, Lysara found solace in her newfound community. She had come to love the forest, its beauty and serenity, offering her a sense of belonging she hadn't expected. Yet, the thought of returning to Virion lingered in her heart, a reminder of her responsibilities and the life she had left behind. One evening, as she sat by the fire in the cabin, Max resting beside her, Lysara pondered her journey. Earth had become her refuge, but her heart longed for home. With Max's head on her lap, she whispered, "No matter where I go, you'll always be with me, won't you?" Max looked up at her with his wise, trusting eyes, as if to say he understood. In that moment, Lysara knew that whatever lay ahead, they would face it together. Their bond was unbreakable. They were more than companions. They were family. As the forest whispered around them, Lysara felt a renewed sense of purpose. She was ready for whatever challenges awaited, determined to protect both her new home and the world she had left behind. And with Max by her side, she knew they would overcome any obstacle, bridging the gap between two worlds with the strength of their friendship. Weeks passed, and anticipation grew among the researchers and Lysara as they awaited a response from Virion. Each day, Lysara practiced her powers, growing more adept at manipulating Earth's elements, while Max remained her steadfast companion, ever watchful and loyal. One afternoon, while they were exploring near the ancient stone circle, a sudden burst of light erupted from the stones. Lysara and Max watched in awe as a shimmering portal began to form, flickering with vibrant colors. The researchers rushed to the scene, their excitement palpable. From the portal emerged a delegation from Virion, their arrival greeted with gasps of wonder. Leading them was Saran, Lysara's loyal protector who had orchestrated the mission to bring her home. Tears filled Lysara's eyes as she embraced him, relief and joy washing over her. "Princess Lysara," Saran said, his voice filled with emotion, "we've come to take you back. Your mother, the queen, awaits your return. The coup has been thwarted and the kingdom needs you." Lysara glanced at Max, her heart torn. Earth had become her sanctuary and Max her closest friend. Could she leave this place that had become so dear to her? Sensing her hesitation, Saran knelt beside Max, extending a hand. "You are a hero to us all," he said, his voice warm with gratitude. "Without you, our princess might have been lost forever. Virion would be honored to welcome you as one of our own." Max wagged his tail, looking up at Lysara with those knowing eyes. It was as if he understood the choice before them. With the researchers and Saran's encouragement, Lysara made her decision. She turned to the portal, then back to Max. "Would you come with me?" she asked softly, her voice filled with hope. Max barked happily, bounding to her side, his tail wagging furiously. The decision was made. Together they would face whatever lay ahead on Virion. As they stepped through the portal, the researchers waved goodbye, their hearts full of gratitude for the bond they had witnessed between Lysara and Max. The portal closed behind them, leaving the ancient stone circle silent once more. Arriving on Virion, Lysara was greeted with cheers and tears of joy. The palace, once filled with fear and uncertainty, now buzzed with celebration. Queen Morala embraced her daughter tightly, her eyes glistening with pride and relief. Max quickly became a beloved figure in the kingdom, celebrated for his bravery and loyalty. He adapted to his new surroundings with ease, exploring the lush landscapes of Virion with the same curiosity and enthusiasm he had shown on Earth. As time passed, Lysara took on her responsibilities as a leader, using her elemental powers to heal and nurture her planet. Max remained her faithful companion, a symbol of the friendship that had bridged two worlds. Together they embarked on countless adventures, exploring the farthest reaches of Virion and beyond. Their bond, forged in the wilds of Siberia, had become unbreakable, a testament to the power of friendship and loyalty. And so, the story of Princess Lysara and Max, the Earth dog who saved her, became a legend across galaxies. Their tale inspired hope and unity, reminding all that even in the vastness of the universe, true friendship knows no bounds.